Let me tell you about two people. A single mom, two jobs, modest income, her entire career. She retires at 58 with $400,000 saved. Her neighbor, a guy making twice her salary his whole life. He retires broke at 67 years old. Same city, same era, same economy. The difference wasn't income. It wasn't luck. It wasn't who they knew. It was which levers they pulled and how many. This is the Leverage Report. We explain how leverage works in money, business, and systems so you can produce bigger results with smarter decisions. Because leverage doesn't create outcomes, it multiplies them. My name is Rich, and welcome to the show. Here's what almost nobody talks about. Most people are only using one lever their entire financial life. That lever is their job. They trade time for money. They work, they get paid, they spend, they repeat. And that works up to a point. But that lever has a ceiling. You only have so many hours. When you stop working, it stops paying. The people who build real wealth aren't just working harder, they're adding levers. There are 5 of them, and today we're going to talk through every single one with real examples from real households, including mine. Lever number 1, money leverage. A couple starts putting $200 a month into an index fund at age 30. They never increase it, they never touch it. At 60, they have over $226,000. But here's what's wild. They only contributed $72,000 of their own money. The other $154,000, their money earned while they slept. Most people know this is possible because they think $200 isn't enough to matter. It is. Here's my version of this. A few years back, I had $8,000 sitting in a regular savings account, earning like 0.4% interest, basically nothing. So I moved $6,000 of it into a low-cost index fund and kept the rest as my buffer, and I left it alone. 3 years later, that $6,000 had grown to just over $9,200. I didn't do anything. That's the entire point. The money did the work. I just had to stop leaving it sit idle. Lever number 2, credit leverage. A woman named Diane wants to start a small catering business. She's got $3,000 saved. With a 790 credit score, she qualifies for a $15,000 business line of credit at 7%. She buys the equipment that she needs, lands 3 contracts in her first month, pays the line of credit back in 4 months. Her $3,000 alone would have bought a used oven and a prayer. Her credit score bought her a business. Most people think credit is for emergency. High leverage thinkers use it as a launching pad. Here's what this looked like for me. I spent about 2 years doing nothing but quietly cleaning up my credit. I paid down my balances. I disputed 2 old errors on my report. I stopped applying for anything new. And I watched my credit score from 620 to 748. I went to refinance my car the following year, and the rate difference saved me about $87 a month. That's over $5,000 over the life of the loan. From 2 years of quiet, boring credit work. Nobody sees that kind of work. Your bank account does. Lever number 3, knowledge leverage. A warehouse worker named James spends 90 minutes a night for 6 months studying for a Google IT certification. The total cost is $210, about 180 hours of his time. He gets hired into an IT support role at $22,000 more per year. Over 10 years, that single knowledge investment returns over $220,000 in additional income. That's a 1,000 times return on $210. So nobody talks about ROI on learning, and they should. My version. I spent $400 on an online course about negotiation and contract structuring. Not exciting, not glamorous. But the first time I used what I learned to negotiate a service contract, I recovered $6,200 I would have left on the table. That $400 course probably returned $30,000 to me over the course of years. Better deals, better contracts, knowing when to push back. The best investment I ever made wasn't a stock, it was understanding how deals actually work. Lever number 4, systems leverage. A teacher sets up 3 automatic transfers on payday. $150 to savings, $100 to her Roth IRA, $50 to a car replacement fund. She never sees the money, so she never misses it. 3 years later, she's got $5,400 in savings, $3,600 in her Roth, and $1,800 towards her next car. $10,800 built with zero willpower, zero budgeting, and zero stress. The system did it. Most people rely on discipline. Discipline runs out and systems don't. Here's mine. I used to budget manually every single month. Spreadsheets, tracking apps, the whole thing. I was exhausted and still I overspent. Then I flipped it. Automatic transfers for savings and investing the day after every paycheck hits. Bills on auto pay. What's left is mine to spend guilt-free. My savings rate went up. My stress went down. I stopped fighting myself every month and I let the system fight for me. I haven't manually budgeted in over 2 years. Lever number 5, strategy leverage. A couple is carrying $14,000 in credit card debt at 22% interest. They also have $180,000 left on a mortgage at 3.5%. Every financial instinct tells them to pay off the house faster, but the math says the opposite. Attacking the 22% debt first saves them over $11,000 in interest and frees up $400 a month in cash flow within 18 months. Strategy leverage means sequencing your decisions so that each one sets up the next. Most people make financial decisions in isolation. High leverage thinkers make them in order. My version. A few years ago, I had 3 things pulling at my money at the same time. Credit card debt, car loan, and I wanted to start investing. Every instinct said to do all 3 at once. Instead, I mapped out the interest rates on everything I owed, ranked them, and attacked them in order. Closed out the highest rate debt first, then rolled that payment into the next one, then started investing with real momentum once the debt was gone. It took 14 months. But when I started investing, I was debt-free with $600 a month to deploy. Sequencing changed everything. So why do most people stay stuck one lever their whole life? It's not laziness. It's not ignorance. It's that nobody ever showed them the other 4 levers existed. School teaches you how to earn money. It teaches you almost nothing about how to multiply it. In the financial system, the banks, the credit card companies, the lenders, they benefit when you stay at one lever. When you keep trading time for money, carrying balances, ignoring your credit, making decisions without a sequence, the moment you add a second lever, your results don't double because leverage doesn't add, it multiplies. Here's what happens when you stack all 5 at the same time. Your money is growing while you sleep. Your credit is opening doors you couldn't access before. Your knowledge is protecting you from bad decisions and creating new income streams. Your systems are running in the background without your attention. And your strategy is sequencing all of it so every move sets up the next one. This is what financially free people actually do. It's not magic. It's not a secret. It's not reserved for people who make $500,000 a year. It's 5 levers pulled intentionally at the same time. Here's something most people don't know. The IRS allows anyone with earned income to contribute to a Roth IRA. Anyone, including a teenager with a part-time job. A 16-year-old who puts just $1,000 into a Roth IRA and never adds another single dollar will have over $88,000 at age 65. At a 10% annual average return, completely tax-free. That's one $1,000 decision made at 16 is worth more than 50,000 contributed starting at age 40. Let that sink in for a second. Time is the most ruthless form of leverage that exists, and it only runs in one direction. 3 moves before this week is over. 1, write down which of the 5 levers you currently are using. Be honest with yourself. 2, pick one lever you're not using and identify one specific action to activate it this week. Just one. That's it. 3, if you don't have a Roth IRA, open one this week. Even if you put only $25 in it, start the clock because time is the one lever you never get back. In the next episode, we go deeper on that lever that separates people fastest. 2 people, same salary, completely different financial lives. 10 years later, we'll break down exactly why and exactly what to do about it. If this episode landed with you, subscribe. Every episode of the Leverage Report builds on the last, and that compounding effect is certainly going to help. That's leverage too. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk soon. If you have any questions, go to the comments. Let's have a dialogue.